that Prince Roland has witches on his side. Back at the border town, the advisor is visiting our hero, totally freaking out about why he's charging only 20% of the serfs' crops as property tax when they become free people. He admits that even 50% would still be seen as generous. The prince reassures him, saying having a basement full of gold means nothing. He smartly explains that by only charging 20%, he plans to buy the rest of the crops at a fixed price. That way, once they have money, they'll spend it on good stuff. And Prince Roland will be the one providing that good stuff. It's a win-win where money flows back to him, and the people will also be able to raise their living standards. Suddenly, Knight Carter bursts in, excitedly reporting that Sean is back with crop seeds from Clearwater Port. The man in question is grinning like he hit the jackpot as he shows off all the plants the prince asked for. First, there's this corn that he's calling Pearl Rice, which has everyone doing a double take. My guy's practically drooling over it already. Then, he pulls out some potatoes, and our hero jumps at them like he's about to whip up some killer French fries. Hearing this, Sean curiously asks what these French fries are. Prince spins a story about munching them at some fancy feast where the chef called them fries. Next up, sugarcane arrives, and our hero's thrilled, predicting a sweet future. But poor Knight Carter can't seem to find them sweet even after taking a bite. Meanwhile, the old man's freaking out, shaking like a leaf. He was just a tad suspicious about Prince Roland maybe being possessed by demons. But now he's dead certain after seeing this kind of genius. He is sure that Roland's personality has changed, and his behavior seems weird. He's heard of stuff he never knew existed and has knowledge no one else has heard of. But despite all this, he can't find anything bad in what the prince has done so far. So, he decides to just brush those thoughts off because as long as Roland keeps doing good stuff, even if he's a bit of a devil, it's all good. Roland hands over the sugarcane to the old man, who quickly sinks his teeth to taste its sweetness. By the end of the day, Roland's feeling pretty beat, thinking over Sean's report, and he has found out that her sister Garcia also has the church's pills. Now, he understands why the church is trying to help him and Garcia with their pills. They want to provoke conflict. In light of this, he plans to prepare high-rate-of-fire weapons to counter the looming threats. Suddenly, Anna appears, catching him completely off guard, leaving him startled. The prince jokes about Nightingale always popping up out of the blue, and Anna has also started doing the same, teasing her that she might give him a heart attack someday. He then asks why she's here instead of in class. She explains she's stuck on a tough physics problem, and Teacher Scroll sent her to him for some personal help. After seeing the problem, he admits he's no quantum mechanics expert either. He still tries to teach her, diving into stuff like different dimensions. As they hang out, night creeps in, and they finish up their studies. When it's time to say goodbye, they share these intense glances that leave them both blushing. They quickly look away, feeling all awkward. The prince feels too bashful to make a move, but Anna takes the lead, getting closer herself. He finally gathers his nerve and gently places his hand under her right ear. Once they relax, they move in and share a kiss. Another day rolls around at Border Town. Nightingale glances around, spotting slogans plastered everywhere, which are encouraging people to work hard. Curious, she asks why these slogans are everywhere. The prince explains they're meant to inspire people to build their wealth through hard work. He believes these words will eventually become reality and deeply resonate with everyone. Meanwhile, we see Anna making some stuff which might belong to a chemistry lab. She wonders aloud why they are melting and reshaping these perfectly good glass cups. In response, he reveals to these curious ladies that they're for the alchemists who will visit Border Town in the future. Nightingale grabs a funnel, pretends it's a wine glass, and raises an imaginary toast while peering at it with her curious eyes. The prince explains he's too busy to figure out how to turn sand into clear glass, so he's using already available glass for now. This leaves the girl even more confused. She's wondering how sand and glass are connected. The prince responds that they need to refine the sand to get perfectly clear glass. Otherwise, it tends to come out brown or green. The chemistry equipment has to be pure and colorless. Meanwhile, Nightingale keeps messing around with the equipment and gets a playful bonk on the head. And our hero continues to teach Anna about how he plans to use the equipment to handle acids and conduct more experiments. After the playful bonk, Nightingale walks away while the prince continues teaching Anna. Nightingale spots some delicious snacks on the table and can't resist. Being a bit of a snacker herself, she grabs a steamed bun and takes a big bite. The flavor instantly transports her to heaven. When she opens her eyes, it's like she's wandering through a ripe wheat field, enjoying every bite with its weedy smell and amazing texture. The filling inside is bursting with goodness, and the aftertaste just keeps going. Roland notices the lady enjoying the snack all by herself, and happily tells her it's a steamed bun he had the chef make specifically. He then decides to wash up their dirty hands and have afternoon tea to enjoy these delicious treats together, and the both ladies eagerly look forward to it. As the day wears on, the blazing sun makes it hard for Nightingale to keep her eyes open. Meanwhile, Prince Roland is goofing around with Anna, and there's a faint smile on Nightingale's face. Her eyes slowly close as she drifts into sleep, her thoughts filled with dreams of marrying our prince. In her dream, she walks down the aisle of a grand church hall, lined with other witches. When they reach the altar, the prince lifts the veil from her face, revealing her true beauty, and they share a kiss. While she's lost in this dream, Anna playfully tells Prince Roland to quiet down because she's sure her older sister must be having a lovely dream. It's the only thing that could explain the smile on her face. Next up, we're back in the Holy City where we find the three archbishops once again. They're deep in discussion about wiping out the witches our hero is keeping in the border town. However, since the church is already gearing up to attack Wolfheart, they're short on soldiers. Archbishop Maine assigns Priestess Mira to lead a small but elite unit called the Judgment Army. He's confident she'll get better results if she heads to the border town with them. The priestess agrees wholeheartedly, and she is ready to cleanse the border town of all evil. With his blessings, she's instructed to head to the border town right away to scout, and she nods without hesitation. Lady Heather then teases Maine about giving Priestess Mira so much attention, joking whether he's grooming her to be the next big shot of the church or if he just has a soft spot for her. Hearing this, Priest Typhoon, who is not really a fan of her sassy and careless tone, angrily reminds her that this situation involves both kingship and witches, and they can't afford to ignore it as it could affect the church's future plans. Maine agrees, speculating that the fourth prince might be harboring witches. He's convinced that the goofball prince must have been enchanted by their beauty, and now he is their puppet under their charm spell. Also, there are rumors that the border town is recruiting more witches, and Maine sees it as a direct challenge to the church's authority. He wants it all sorted before things spiral, even considering going to the border town himself if Mira fails in her task. The scene cuts to some rundown spot where these witches snagged some poor dude. They give him a splash of water to wake him up, and when he opens his eyes, he's totally freaked out seeing these ladies around him. His mind suddenly flashes back, remembering how he got caught by these ladies, and he's dead certain that they are witches. The girl immediately points her shiny dagger at his face, and after seeing his scared expression, one of them then asks him why he is wetting his pants now, since he was the one chasing witches all this time. Then, a flashback shows our hero assigning this guy Theo a mission. He was basically instructed to use underground channels and spread gossip that the border town is recruiting witches. The prince told him that if he got caught by witches, he should claim he's from the Cooperation Association. When Theo drops this bombshell over these witches, they look surprised. But then another woman storms in, wielding a giant sword like a female version of Guts. She laughs off his claim as nonsense, saying the Cooperation Association is way out in the Seawind region. The other girls are thrilled to see her back and they quickly surround her, revealing that this guy was the one using the underground channels to spread rumors about recruitment. The boy quickly defends himself, saying he's just spilling the truth. He insists the Cooperation has found the Holy Mountain and all the witches have settled in the border town. They're not possessed by demons and don't feel any pain from anti-phase stuff either. He goes on to reveal their mentor named Kara, who can summon magical snakes, something he's witnessed firsthand and found incredible. He also mentions Wendy and Scroll, who sent him on this mission. This girl is totally intrigued to hear all this, while Theo further talks about Nightingale and others. In response, the women point out that if they've really settled on the Holy Mountain in the border town, they shouldn't have spread the news. It'll only alert the church, and if they don't clear out of there soon, they're in big trouble. The redhead witch asks what their next move should be, to which the black-haired one declares that their leader will arrive tonight at midnight, along with other witches, so they will be sailing the ship along with others. As for Theo, she kicks his chair over, sending him crashing to the ground still tied up. The black-haired woman then tells her redhead friend to hop on the ship with the others while she heads back to the border town with Theo. She wants to confirm if the Witch Association actually found the Holy Mountains, so she tells her friend to inform their leader Tilly that she is going to the border town. In the next scene, we see Lady Lightning soaring through the sky, exploring the areas marked on the same treasure map our hero received from that night. She's covered a lot of ground already, and the prince specifically asked her to scope out the notorious Misty Forest, and after proudly taking on the task, she's psyched to explore further solo. Just as heavy rain starts dumping, she quickly tucks the map into her jacket, making sure it stays bone dry no matter what. Then bam! She spots something nearby and takes off like a shot, racing through the forest like lightning. Deep in the woods, she stumbles upon ancient ruins and starts scanning the place for anything fishy. She admits she had no clue a place like this existed because it was completely hidden from view by the mist when she was up in the air. If not for the rain, she likely would have missed it altogether. Her nose catches a tantalizing scent, the aroma of adventure that perks up her spirits. After a bit of poking around, she realizes these must be the ruins marked on the treasure map. According to the plan, she's supposed to note down the location and head straight back to the border town to report everything to the prince. But her adventurous spirit kicks in, urging her to venture inside alone. Besides, with the rain pouring down, why not explore until it stops? Once inside, she finds empty halls, so she continues deeper, but she still finds nothing. But as she is walking forward, she hears a faint voice, calling for help. Lighting gets absolutely terrified and immediately hides behind the wall, while the same voice continues to call for help. She finds it hard to believe that anyone could be here, considering these ruins are centuries old and deep within the Misty Forest. It doesn't make sense for someone to be lurking around. But despite her doubts, she pushes forward, thinking maybe there's an explorer stuck inside who needs help. She cautiously pushes the door gently, but the door crashes down, and before her stands a disgusting monster, a creature straight out of nightmares. This terrifying scene freezes her in place, and she falls to the ground as she realizes that this is the same demon which the Lady Leaf fought in the Badlands. Tears well up involuntarily as pure horror grips her heart. The monster towers over her menacingly, ready to pounce. The next thing that fills the air is her piercing scream, blending with the thunderous roar of the storm outside. The next scene takes us back to the border town, where our hero meets Margaret Farman, a lively merchant from King City. She's brimming with enthusiasm, bombarding him with questions about his steam engines. She's eager to buy a lot of these machines, offering a hefty sum of 500 gold royals for each. My guy's thrilled at the prospect of earning 5,000 gold royals for 10 steam engines. But as much as he wants to sell them, he can't just hand them over to the royals. These steam engines are the result of Anna and her hard work, something that can't be bought or sold. He's torn because Margaret is not only wealthy but also strikingly attractive. With a necklace adorned with pure gold containing the divine stone of judgment, even Nightingale can't detect if she is lying or not. He also notices Margaret's enthusiastic personality, which is a 100% clone of Lady Lightning itself. Anyway, the prince tells her besides saltpeter, he needs iron, copper, and ferrous sulfate, hoping she can arrange those materials if they plan for a long-term deal. In response, the woman happily agrees. But suddenly she is shocked by something she sees, and when our guy turns to look, he spots lightning flashing across the window. He quickly opens it, and she immediately hugs him tight, tears streaming down her face. The prince signals his knight to fetch Nana immediately. Roland then gets shocked when he remembers that there is a merchant inside the office, which is troubling him because Lightning is a witch. On the flip side, this lady seems to already know Lady Lightning, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's her mother. But our hero doesn't pay attention to her and decides to take Lightning for treatment, leaving the mourning lady screaming behind as she watches Lightning go. After a while, Lightning has been healed and she immediately opens her eyes. She sits up quickly, and Wendy and Nana are thrilled to see her awake, bombarding her with questions about what happened. Lightning looks like she's about to cry again as the prince asks why she came back so urgently in that heavy rain. She reveals that she found the ruins from the treasure map and there are demons inside. Everyone is shocked to hear this, and Teacher Scroll looks terrified, asking if she went inside. She says no, explaining that there was a demon guarding the basement door and someone was calling for help inside, but she got scared and ran back like a coward. But the prince reassures her that she made a wise decision because a smart explorer doesn't rush into danger without assessing the situation first. Lady Leaf adds that it's possible a witch might be trapped inside since besides witches, no one else can reach the depths of the Misty Forest. But considering it's a ruin from 450 years ago, surviving alone there seems impossible for anyone. Lightning mentions there were no signs of human activity near the ruins, while Wendy points out that the area is teeming with terrifying wildlife and lacks suitable food. which makes it clear that someone can't live there alone. The more they ponder, the deeper the mystery gets. Lady Leaf decides they need to find a way to rescue whoever might be inside. That's when our hero steps up, urging everyone not to fret because they're not clear on the whole story yet. To find out, they've got to venture inside. He eagerly declares they're going into the ruins and he'll figure out a plan to save whoever's there. Together, they're set on facing the demon and coming out on top.